The galaxy was a big place, bigger than big. It was full of weird aliens and crazy tech, and every once in a while it needed heroes. That's where Kai Tennyson and his team came in. They were the new kids on the block, ready to face whatever the universe threw at them. They had big shoes to fill, following legends like Ben Tennyson, but they were determined to make their own mark on the galaxy. Kai and his friends were just normal teenagers. Well, as normal as you could get when you traveled the galaxy fighting bad guys. They had their own strengths and weaknesses, their own dreams and fears, but they shared one thing in common, a desire to make a difference. This new generation of heroes was about to face its greatest challenge yet. A mysterious energy surge threatened to unravel the very fabric of reality. Old enemies would resurface, and new alliances would be forged in the fires of conflict. The fate of the galaxy rested on their young shoulders. No pressure, right? Kai Tennyson wasn't your average teenager. Sure, he had the typical teenage angst, the awkward crush on a girl in his class, and a serious addiction to video games. But he also had the Omnitrix, an alien device that allowed him to transform into various alien heroes. And not just any Omnitrix, but an upgraded, more powerful version that his cousin, the legendary Ben Tennyson, had entrusted to him. Talk about pressure. Kai was still getting the hang of his powers. One minute, he'd be a hulking four-armed Tetraman, smashing through obstacles with ease. The next, he'd be a super-fast Kineceleran, zipping around so quickly he'd trip over his own feet. Mastering the Omnitrix was a constant learning curve, a whirlwind of trial and error, often with explosive results. He knew he wasn't Ben. He didn't have years of experience battling intergalactic threats, but he had something just as important, a good heart and a strong sense of justice. He was determined to live up to his family's legacy, even if it meant facing down cosmic horrors with a goofy grin and a prayer. After all, when you can turn into a giant fire-breathing dragon, a little fear is just part of the fun, right? If Kai was the brawn of the team, Lena was the brains. A tech whiz with a mind sharper than a laser beam, she could rewire a spaceship's navigation system before you could say hyperspace. Gadgets, gizmos, and all things digital were her playground. She treated complex coding languages like poetry and could hack into any system with a few keystrokes. Lena wasn't all ones and zeros, though. Beneath her cool, collected exterior was a loyal friend and a fierce protector. She might not have superpowers like Kai, but she was a master strategist and a quick thinker, always 3 steps ahead of the enemy. She had designed and built her own arsenal of high-tech weaponry and gadgets, from energy deflectors to holographic decoys, turning her intellect into a force to be reckoned with. In the heat of battle, Lena's quick thinking and innovative tech often meant the difference between victory and defeat. She was living proof that you didn't need to shoot lasers from your eyes to be a superhero. Sometimes all you needed was a killer app and a whole lot of ingenuity. Jax was a blur of motion, a whirlwind of energy. Literally. He could move at supersonic speeds, leaving sonic booms in his wake. He was the life of the party, always cracking jokes and pushing the limits. Need to get somewhere fast? Jax was your guy. Need to pull off a daring escape? Jax had your back. His speed was his superpower, but it was also his shield, a way to outrun his problems and avoid facing his past. Beneath the cocky grin and the need for speed, Jax harbored a secret, a burden that weighed heavily on his heart. His past was a tangled web of mistakes and regrets, a shadow he couldn't outrun no matter how fast he moved. He feared that if his friends knew the truth, they wouldn't accept him. He kept his walls high, pushing people away before they could get too close, before they could see the real him beneath the bravado. But deep down, Jax yearned for connection, for a place where he could be himself, flaws and all. He craved acceptance, but first, he needed to learn to forgive himself. Section 5. Zara, the gravity of the situation. Zara was a walking paradox, calm and collected on the outside, a maelstrom of emotions within. She possessed the ability to manipulate gravity, making objects weightless or crushing them with unimaginable force. One minute, she'd be levitating massive debris, clearing a path for her teammates, and the next, she'd be creating localized black holes, sucking in enemy projectiles with a flick of her wrist. Zara was driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge, a desire to understand the fundamental forces that govern the universe. But her pursuit of knowledge was a double-edged sword, often leading her down dangerous paths in her relentless pursuit of answers. She believed that the ends justified the means, a philosophy that often put her at odds with her friends. She struggled to balance her scientific curiosity with her moral compass, her desire for discovery with the potential consequences of her actions. Zara's journey was a constant struggle between her head and her heart, a balancing act between the allure of the unknown and the responsibility that came with wielding such immense power. Could she find a way to reconcile her thirst for knowledge with her loyalty to her friends, or would her pursuit of the truth come at a terrible cost? Section 6. The Aurora Wave and a Universe in Chaos. The galaxy was in a state of chaos. A mysterious energy surge, dubbed the Aurora Wave, was sweeping across the cosmos, leaving a trail of destruction and anomaly in its wake. Planets were knocked off their axes, stars flickered erratically, and entire star systems were plunged into chaos. The delicate balance of the universe was teetering on the brink of collapse. The Aurora Wave wasn't just a natural phenomenon, it felt deliberate, controlled, like someone or something was manipulating the very fabric of reality for some nefarious purpose. It was up to Kai and his team to unravel the mystery of the Aurora Wave and stop it before it tore the galaxy apart. Their journey would take them to the farthest corners of the galaxy, from the bustling marketplaces of alien bazaars to the desolate wastelands of forgotten planets. They would encounter strange new alien races, some friendly, some not so much. The fate of the galaxy rested on their shoulders, and the clock was ticking. Section 7. Oblivion, Harbinger of Forgetfulness. From the depths of the cosmic abyss emerged Oblivion, a being of pure antimatter, a manifestation of Oblivion itself. He commanded the Aurora Wave, bending it to his will, using it to erase entire civilizations from existence, wiping them from the fabric of reality as if they had never been. Oblivion's motives were shrouded in mystery. Was he driven by a thirst for power, a desire to reshape the universe in his own image? Or was there something more, some deeper, more sinister purpose behind his actions? Whatever his reasons, one thing was clear. Oblivion posed a threat unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. He was the embodiment of nothingness, the void that swallowed all things. To confront Oblivion was to confront the very concept of oblivion, to stare into the face of annihilation. It would take all of Kai's strength, all of his team's courage and cunning to face this cosmic horror and emerge victorious. The stakes had never been higher, for this was a battle not just for the present, but for the very memory of the universe itself. Section 8. Shadows of the Past. Ben Tennyson's Legacy. Kai couldn't escape the shadow of his cousin Ben Tennyson. Ben was a legend, a hero who had saved the galaxy countless times. Everywhere Kai went, he was met with whispers of Ben's exploits, reminders of the great hero he was trying to live up to. It was a heavy burden to bear, the weight of expectation pressing down on him. He loved his cousin, admired him even, but sometimes Kai just wanted to be his own hero, to forge his own path. He knew he couldn't rely on Ben's legacy forever. He had to find his own strength, his own way of being a hero. The Omnitrix might have been Ben's once, but it was Kai's responsibility now. He had to learn to trust his instincts, to make his own choices, even if it meant making mistakes along the way. He had to step out of the shadows and into the light, to become the hero he was destined to be. Section 9. Trust and Teamwork. The Foundation of Heroes. Fighting cosmic threats wasn't a one-person job. Kai, Lena, Jax, and Zara had to learn to work together, to trust each other with their lives. But trust didn't come easily, especially when secrets and past hurts festered beneath the surface. Lena struggled to reconcile her logical mind with the unpredictable nature of her friends. Jax's recklessness and fear of vulnerability threatened to jeopardize the team's missions, and Zara's single-minded pursuit of knowledge often blinded her to the potential consequences of her actions. They were a team, yes, but they were also individuals, each grappling with their own demons, their own insecurities. To defeat Oblivion, they would need to do more than just fight side by side. They would need to confront their own internal struggles, to learn to trust each other implicitly, to become more than just a team. They had to become a family. Because in the end, it wouldn't be their powers or their technology that saved the galaxy, but their unwavering faith in each other. Section 10. The Price of Power and the Weight of Responsibility. The Omnitrix was more than just a device. It was a responsibility, a burden that weighed heavily on Kai's shoulders. With every transformation, with every alien ability he wielded, he felt the immense power coursing through him. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. He was just one teenager, yet he held the fate of the galaxy in his hands. The pressure was immense, the fear of failure ever present. What if he wasn't strong enough? What if he made the wrong choice? He was learning that true power wasn't about brute force or flashy abilities. It was about responsibility, about using his gifts to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. It was about making the hard choices, even when it meant sacrificing his own desires for the greater good. He was beginning to understand that being a hero wasn't about glory or recognition. It was about selflessness, about putting the needs of others before his own. It was a path fraught with danger and uncertainty, but it was a path he was determined to walk one step at a time. Section 11. A New Dawn for the Galaxy. The battle against Oblivion was long and arduous, a test of strength, courage, and resilience. There were moments when all hope seemed lost, when the darkness threatened to consume them all. But through it all, Kai and his team never gave up. They fought with everything they had, pushing themselves to their limits and beyond. In the end, it wasn't just their powers that saved the day, but their unwavering belief in each other. They learned that true strength came from unity, from the bonds of friendship and trust. They discovered that they were stronger together than they could ever be alone. With Oblivion vanquished, the galaxy began to heal. The aurora wave subsided, its chaotic energy dissipating into the vastness of space. Planets returned to their rightful orbits, stars burned brightly once more, and a sense of peace settled over the cosmos. A new dawn had arrived, a dawn filled with hope and the promise of a brighter future. The next generation of heroes had proven their worth, securing their place among the legends. They had faced their fears, embraced their destinies, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. The galaxy was safe for now, but the journey was far from over. For as long as there was light, there would always be darkness lurking in the shadows, waiting for its chance to rise again. And when it did, Kai Tennyson and his team would be ready.